With Week 1 in the books and Tom Brady still figuring out how to properly announce football on TV, here is talkSPORT's look at the top 5 Super Bowl contenders on the long road to the Superdome in New Orleans. I'm Brian T. Smith, U.S. sports writer for talkSPORT. Number 5, Baltimore Ravens. One of the most talented teams in the NFL just needs to find a way past the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, Lamar Jackson was good, but not good enough against Patrick Mahomes. John Harbaugh was outcoached by Andy Reid. The Ravens fell to Kansas City in a big game. Sound familiar? An annually recurring theme repeated itself in Week 1. Thankfully for Baltimore, there are still 16 games to go. As long as the Ravens can find a way past the Chiefs in the playoffs, starting 0-1 won't matter. Number 4, the Houston Texans. How about them Texans? The best team in the state of Texas is a legit Week 2 Super Bowl contender.
If I ask Brian, I know what the answer is.
Oh, no.
Are the Houston Texans the best team in football this year?
Ooh, I mean, best team in football is a very strong opinion. But what I do like is I loved how they ran the ball. We expected them to come in and just be dicing up a defense through the air. They came in and ran more yards in one game than they averaged all of last season. So I think that's really promising. CJ Stroud is amazing. I think he's absolutely wonderful. I don't know if I can say they are the best team.
So it's a no?
It's a no. I'm sorry to heartbreak.
If
I had to say yes or no.
Texans fans will not be happy with you right now. They are convinced they are now the best team in the NFL, which I love. The biggest thing is the turnaround.
Yeah.
The fact that they have done this all in basically 1 year by hiring the right head coach in D'Amico Ryans, bringing him back, great for the city, great for the fan base, by getting lucky in the draft. They should have had the number 1 overall pick. Yeah. They would have taken Bryce Young. What a disaster that would have been. You have the CJ Stroud. It's all perfect. Nick Caserio has done an incredible job, and he inherited an absolute train wreck, disaster, garbage fire, and he's turned that entire organization around. So no, they're not the best team in the NFL, but it's Kansas City and Baltimore and the Houston Texans in the AFC right now. They've turned that all around in 1 year. That's one of the best stories in the NFL. In a month, they could be the AFC favorites if CJ Stroud keeps carving up the league. D'Amico Ryans and his second-year quarterback have completely changed the Texans, who have taken the biggest leap in the NFL in 1 year. Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs were also Week 1 winners, and a tough road win in Indianapolis only increased expectations. The Texans are getting closer and closer to the top of the AFC. Number 3, the San Francisco 49ers. The new season started just like last season. San Francisco can put up points and points and possesses one of the premier offenses in the NFL. No Christian McCaffrey, no problem.
I think, from my perspective, the 49ers are a team who, we talk a lot about vibes in the NFL. Dan Campbell, the Lions, that is pure vibes as a team, and they maybe play above themselves because of it. I feel like there's just something special building around this 49ers team, which 2 weeks ago everyone wanted to write them off, and suddenly they put on a performance like this. For me, I thought they were the best team in football.
Enter Jordan Mason, who wrecked fantasy leagues everywhere by running for 147 yards and a touchdown, even though nobody had heard of it before Week 1. The 49ers might be the most underrated team in the league, and they're a minute away from being Super Bowl champions. I was reminded, too, Kyle Shanahan, and I don't want to say he's underrated, but he feels like, in some way, the most underrated mind in the NFL. He's always in the NFC Championship. He's always in the Super Bowl. He might fall a little short. He might forget the overtime rules, but he is an offensive genius. And what he's able to do with backups, with Brock Purdy, with all these different weapons. We talk about the Chiefs. We talk about the Ravens, the Houston Texans. The San Francisco 49ers, on some level, they're underrated. I mean, I write about this all the time at talkSPORT. The San Francisco 49ers probably have the best weapons in the NFL, and they can do all this without Christian McCaffrey. It's a testament to how creative, as you just mentioned, and just how smart Kyle Shanahan is running this team and running this offense. Number 2, the Detroit Lions. Like the Texans, the Lions just win. Detroit needed overtime to hold off the Los Angeles Rams and trailed 20-17 late in the fourth quarter at home. But the Lions proved again they deserve their national TV platform, winning 26-20 in a Sunday night thriller. Gritty Dan Campbell and an efficient Jared Goff have completely turned around Detroit football. It's a long way to February, but the Lions are already dreaming of New Orleans. And number 1, who else? The Kansas City Chiefs. Taylor Swift was an afterthought in Week 1. Mahomes gave the Baltimore Ravens fashion advice: wear white shoes next time, guys. Travis Kelce was the Chiefs' 4th best receiver in a big season-opening win, which tells you how impressive Kansas City looks again in 2024. The only thing stopping the Chiefs right now is the Chiefs. They're the class of the league and weekly quality. Thanks for listening and watching. You can follow everything at talkSPORT Endzone. Like, subscribe, and be sure to have your say in the comments.